People had hopes, dreams of The Witcher 4 being an absolutely great game. But currently, what's happening with The Witcher 4 and CDPR Red is absolutely insane. It's completely crazy. And the trailer has only been out for a couple of days. So let me fill you in what's happening. Trailer drops, everything looks kind of fine, except the fact that Ciri looks like a absolutely uglified Karen monstrosity kind of thing. Now she's a Witcher, which is useless because she was effectively the most powerful being in the Witcher universe previously, but now she's a Witcher and struggling to defeat the Hag. And CDPR Red now in the last day effectively have released countless interviews where they are claiming that Ciri's greatest challenge in The Witcher 4 is gonna be sexism. Now that sounds like a game I wanna play. Don't know about you, but that sounds exciting. And other interviews and other leaks that effectively say, hey, no one consulted about with the original author of the series about what they're gonna do with Ciri and The Witcher 4. They completely ignored that, and other bad things like this. The Witcher 4 at this point is it's gonna still sell, but it's gonna sell way less than anyone anticipated. It is most likely gonna be kind of off your, Battlefield goes woke and then sells 50% less copies than ever before type of situation. It's not looking good, boys.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about concerns that gamers have regarding CD Projekt Red as well as their upcoming release of The Witcher 4. Now, ever since the trailer for this game was released at the Game Awards, there's been a lot of discussion about the game. Obviously, it's a very successful franchise, but people are really talking about the choice of the main protagonist for this game, the latest Witcher, which is now Ciri. Now, people are making a lot of different comments. We're going to focus on the lore-related concerns, but also people were criticizing the design, saying she's more masculine, but also some people...
She is absolutely more masculine, and I have seen so many people trying to disprove this on Twitter. One of my favorites is a post that kind of went viral where someone took this exact shot of Ciri and the previous Ciri from Witcher, and then they did the outline thing, and they said, "Oh, look at that! The chin is the same, the nose is is the same, everything is the same. She's the same person. You're just all idiots." No, the moment you zoom in, you actually can see that the bone structure of this Ciri is not even close. Not even close to the previous one. She has been manified as much as possible. She has been not necessarily uglified, but they tried their goddamn best to make her as unappealing as possible. And that's just from the aesthetic point of view.
People said it's fine, and maybe she's just a little bit older in this game. I don't know. I don't really think it's like the biggest concern for them right now. They have a lot of other issues.
Older doesn't mean uglier.
Facing not only this game, but also CD Projekt Red as a whole. But that didn't stop journalists from basically labeling her as the latest girl boss. You can see Rock.
I saw this. I saw this. Now, honestly, this is one of the probably better articles because I read it. And the reality is this article's headline was actually clickbait. This is not exactly what is said in the article, but there are other things that are bad and have been said, which is hilarious. But that's rock, paper, shotgun, and, well, you shouldn't read this shit.
Paper shotgun, they're still going these days. With this headline saying, having Ciri as the Witcher 4 lead will help the game explore the Witcher world's sexism, says CD Projekt Red. Now, I'm going to be very critical of CD Projekt Red in this video, but I got to defend them here because that is not what they said. That headline is very misleading.
Yeah. By the way, this article, you know how it looks? It's like this long, and what he actually said is right here. Now, there are other places where the devs have said things that we definitely don't like, but this article is definitely not it. This is the exact thing what he says, and that's not what it says. I don't know why these idiots are putting clickbait, I guess.
If you can read the quotes here, they mention nothing about combating sexism in the world. Just kind of an embarrassing
The bigger problem probably is this part right here that you can't see because I'm in front of it. We make games for adults, and it also means that we're tackling some different topics he suggested. Now, this, when you read this full part right here, now this is actually kind of a red flag, but, you know, it doesn't actually say anything about, you know, sexism and other things. There are other context things that have been said that are alluding to it, and that's going to be a problem.
Article here, but let's go back to the concerns about the main protagonist here and the real ones, okay? Despite how games journalists might frame some of this stuff, people are not concerned about a woman taking on this role in the game as the main protagonist. In fact, a lot of people enjoy the character Ciri, especially based on Witcher 3, and I don't think a lot of people would have an issue with her having a big role in The Witcher 4. Yep. However, the fact that she's a Witcher is what's causing the controversy, because to many, it seems like it's violative of established lore. Now, I'm not some expert on...
It's not even violative of established lore, it's pointless. Again, she's pretty much the strongest being in the Witcher universe, and now she went full Witcher, and now she's effectively weaker because she probably lost all her other abilities. It's just pointless and dumb. And if you want to make some speculations, boys, listen. She's from the School of the Lynx. Do you want to bet the School of the Lynx is some kind of special lost order where women Witchers are the only ones that can join because fucking reasons and stuff? I bet it is. Or Ciri made her own school because she needs the girl boss hard. Again, $20 on the fact that our good old Geralt is gonna get killed. Well, get himself killed, but in some kind of useless way to fully pass the torch to Ciri. It's gonna be great.
On Witcher-related lore, so correct me if I'm wrong about some things in the comments section, but it seems like very established lore that only men could be Witchers, that the task of going through the Trial of the Grasses is so physically brutal that a woman just physically could not make it through.
And adults.
That seems like that was a very established piece of lore, and a lot of people are saying this choice is violating that lore. Now, in response to that, there's been a lot of...
Now, the thing is here, right? The Witcher games have always played fast and loose with the lore of the books. Haven't read the books, but people are saying this who have. Yeah, that the Witcher games are playing it fast and loose with the books. But you see, that's not a problem necessarily. Because the Witcher game can establish its, it's established in the Witcher world and it can take traits of it. But that's fine. But the moment you start breaking your own lore, and this is sadly actually a quote from George R.R. Cuckold Martin, fat loser, that's when you break everything. And this seems to be the point where everything is gonna be broken, because they're fine now just destroying already established lore, things that you know and whatnot. And however the hell Ciri actually becomes a Witcher is pointless, because it's supposed to be impossible. You making a dumb excuse like saying, oh, you're special, does not really work in this situation. It is without question breaking lore. And the moment you start breaking lore, you kind of lose. You kind of mess everything up typically. Because then the world no longer matters, because anything can happen and bad writing takes hold.
Discussions and interviews by people at CD Projekt Red. And
judging from the trailer, again, you probably know my thoughts about the trailer, how everything played out. The lore is shit. The writing is real bad, most likely.
On the team for this game, trying to dispel some of those lore-related concerns. We can see the director here, Kolemba, as well as the CD Projekt Red franchise and lore designer, Kane Maher. If I'm pronouncing that right, we'll talk about him later in the video, but they say outright that these changes to Ciri's character will not come at the expense of the series canon, but will instead represent a natural evolution of her character, and they go on to clarify 100% that she has in fact successfully completed the trial of the grasses. So she is a witcher the same way her predecessors were, and there's no like pseudo witcher status that she has. She outright completed the trial. So now you have to say, well, did they violate established lore? And
Yes.
based on this, they're trying to say that they're not. And
Again, they're gonna put some stupid ass plot twist in there that's like, oh, look at that. She could always actually do it because of reasons. And no one's gonna be happy with it. I mean, it's over. It really is over because the moment you break your own universe's lore, the lore doesn't matter anymore.
and I don't really know. Like this explanation really is lacking. And you think, why is this really an issue in the first place? And some of these concerns about the lore being switched around and rewritten to make this protagonist choice work has to do with the fact they're disregarding the original intent of the author who wrote this saga. And you can see this headline here. CD Projekt Red admits original author was not consulted on Ciri's Witcher role.
Yeah, these are probably the big things that happened in the past 24 hours that we knew that we got to know about The Witcher. That article and this. I have read all of this. There are smaller things, but these are probably the the two biggest ones
In Witcher 4. So they make it very clear in an interview here, the developer as well as this Weber individual from CD Projekt Red, that they did not consult the author about The Witcher 4 or this choice of Ciri as the latest Witcher. So they're asked outright by this interviewer at a Eurogamer, has he explicitly said yes, that this choice is absolutely fine and that she could make it through the trial of the grasses? And Weber responds saying, I mean, I can actually give you a very good answer because it's written that Sapkowski usually gives. The answer is in the books. And in the books, Sapkowski called Ciri a witcher multiple times, and Geralt called Ciri a witcher in the books too. So I think that basically says what Sapkowski, the author, thinks about the topic. And I think that's a very lame answer. Okay, they're saying, I'm going to use
people are not going to be happy with it.
the words of the original author to confirm what we're doing is right, but we also are just making up those words for him. He didn't actually talk to us. We didn't consult with him on the topic, so we're just going to infer what he might have thought about this subject. And I think that's a bit unfair, and I think that...
You know what would be hilarious? If you know about the Witcher games, how they started, it's actually pretty funny because they don't have to pay shit in royalties to the original author Sapkowski, which is hilarious. They approached him and said, hey, we're going to do a game based on your books. And we're going to offer you like an X% of the revenue that this game does. And he was like, that's not going to probably sell a single copy. How about you just give me like 5K and you can use the IP, whatever. I'm fine with it. Because he thought it's going to be a failure. And he even later tried to sue CDPR Red for the fact that he fucked up. Because he could have made millions. Instead, he took like 5 or 2K or something like that to allow them to use their IP. It is hilarious. So, there is a chance that this guy could be petty. And when he hears about the controversies happening, he's like, oh, I would never allow it. She cannot become a Witcher now. That he just does it out of spite, and that would be hilarious. That would absolutely be comedy gold.
That is something that is kind of concerning because it seems like they don't really care about the original intent that much, because if they did, they would definitely consult him about this issue and have an answer ready. They had to know they were going to be pressed about this choice of Ciri as a Witcher. But anyways, they would also double down on this in other interviews as well. And we would see that individual, once again, the lore designer, franchise designer at CD Projekt Red, Maher, he would confirm that same sort of thing, saying, you know, they're called a Witcher by the author, which again, people point out that she was often called a Witcher as sort of a like playful thing. And again, it's kind of like a lame way to justify this choice. But again, let's talk about this Maher individual. You can see they are, of course, the franchise and lore designer at CD Projekt Red. Now, they're having a bit of a...
Yo, look at that. He's with the literal fucking Hobbit crew. Jesus.
Hard time on Twitter today because of all of this related lore debate, people have been focusing on the lore designer, obviously, and they're starting to dig through his accounts, and it doesn't look great. Another person in the gaming industry who clearly has a disdain for gamers. Many such cases. So here's some of the tweets in this conversation, I guess implying that him and I think his wife will punch gamers together. Also, he is a journalist from The Gamer, which is known for a lot of
Oh my, dude, this is the new CDPR stock. Because people have been talking a lot about this, okay? I did not know this. This is nice, okay? A games consultant. Guess what kind of games he probably has consulted? Oh boy. Freelancer, my ass. This is the new CDPR crowd. This is the new CDPR hires. Because this old CDPR is no more. Most people who did make the good games are gone. So this is the new CDPR. The California CDPR. The Vancouver CDPR. Ugh. Dude, Canada is such a bad place. America should just allow it to not be the 51st state and just leave it be.
Slop articles and is constantly ridiculed by gamers for not being a good news source on the related subjects. On top of that, there's this conversation where he says gamers are already bad enough in response to a deleted post. But this one's really telling. It says
people are going to look into what kind of consulting work he did and what he did, and it's probably going to be woke shit. Also, how the hell... This is nepotism. Like, look at his CV. Lead feature editor, The Gamer. Literally 1 year. Associate editor, also, like, 2 months. Then he's an associate editor, and then he's a game consultant for 2... and then he's a franchise and a lore designer? What the fuck? What? This is some kind of crazy nepo shit.
For not being a good news source on the related subjects. On top of that, there's this comment which everyone, everywhere, throughout all of history has used every single day. There is something wrong with your life, but it's not what you think it is. The wokes aren't out to get you. You're just a clown. I honestly feel sad when I see people who have very clearly lost the ability to think because they have been swallowed whole by some inane grift. It is absurd that people can be so far gone that they will publicly go berserk at the sight of the word they or even just pronoun. This isn't really a new or even worthwhile observation, but people online are way too obsessed with other people's lives and choices. Who gives a shit?
Why wouldn't I be? Are you kidding me? All of everyone's choices influence my life. I don't... Dude, are you kidding me? Is this one of those completely autistics? Oh, but what do you care what people around you do? I care, asshole. I care a lot. And that isn't the right thing to do. I care that people around me on a day-to-day basis are not insane lunatics. Okay? And I think everyone should care about that. That is normal. That is normal.
What anyone else is doing once they're content and not harming anyone. Let people be
not harming anyone, but kind of just forcing others to live life like they see fit. Okay.
Happy and mind your own business. So yeah, this guy is all about...
Yeah, the PDF file that gets to run around free also technically doesn't affect you. Yeah, sure, buddy.
Pronouns clearly likes the use of the term they. And again, with the gaming industry right now, this is the type of stuff people don't want to hear about someone in charge of parts of a game, especially the lore of a game that is so anticipated like The Witcher 4. But there's some other tweets. It seems like they're very angry. They're trying to mock an individual for basically criticizing ugly character designs. It seems like they don't like people doing that. On top of that, you can see this comment. I don't know what exactly he's referring to, but you can see 2 years ago, he said the worst thing about this is when it's also done in bad faith. Not only will YouTubers monetize your work, they'll do it while talking about how wrong and stupid you are in front of millions strong anti-woke audience. How is this considered acceptable is beyond me. So clearly they have an issue with YouTubers, which, if it wasn't already...
Hey, they're just stop. It doesn't affect you, buddy. Move on. It doesn't affect you. What do you care if these people talk about these things? It doesn't affect you. Move on. Move on, dipshit.
confirm they're a journalist, and there it is, because journalists absolutely hate YouTubers with a burning passion. But on top of that, it seems like they have a negative view of YouTubers with a anti-woke audience, which is a lot of channels right now, and it seems like this is not a very good stance to have if you want to not end up the subject of videos criticizing you and the games you're working on, the studio you work at. Also, we will see Vera Dark here. Thank you for doing the good work, some honest work here, finding their interactions with Alyssa Mercante. So basically, you'll play right here. She's just scrolling through with the @ of Alyssa Mercante, former Kotaku editor, of course, and they're regularly interacting with her posts for years and years. And honestly, if you're the kind of person who's regularly interacting with someone...
Again, and this guy is going to sign your lore, you're cooked. The Witcher 4 is dead. Let's see, is there anything, blah, blah, blah. It seems like this is pretty much it. Again, all the devs are corrupt. It is effectively as over as it can probably be for the Witcher series. Hey, it was a good run while it lasted, but remember, nothing lasts forever. 10 out of 10, that was Rip says Desu, bye.